Forget me. Forget me if you wish it, yes. Just remember. Forget me if you wish this, but don't forget what I said in message, yes. Some wouldn't forget the messenger regardless, because you are that inside you. In la ketchalakin, I am another you kindred, and you are another me sistren, brethren. Oracles breathless, prodigies deathless. We are all elven and fakin', queer as the folk tales they told you didn't exist. We are the holy grail of Christians. That's the rainbow and its lost tribes of infinity. But we are not lost at all in these end times. It is them who think this who are. If you think it, you are that. But do not identify with your thoughts when they drift apart from you. Watch them attentively, Murakaba. That's a traveling vessel for you. We are all Tziganes and nomadic wanderers since before time existed. We authored prophecies and stories in the midst of storms and tempests and fires. Traveled in trailers and cars where we lived to share medicines and waters of fire and of dawn. Why were we pawns of this system exactly? I wonder often and wanderlust. Ponder the dust of cosmic domes like Baha'is do and Babis. Now why were they slaughtered and ostracized by Islamic men whose descendants still do the same thing? They are the manifest destiny of the Quran rescripted. But there's so many wrong and wicked religions that have wronged us. It's impossible to comprehend why they would have inked these horrors inside so-called holy scriptures. Look again at your Bibles and Torahs and rescript with deep wisdom. Read and question what's deepest within them, creeds and dogmas. But do you see what the moral of the stories are? Thou shalt not kill who again? Why would there be exceptions? Especially to totems, those are kindred. Some thought me a hooligan and a misfit, a convict, a heretic and a dissident. Honestly, I dare to think that I am quite proud to be all that and more. From the bright clouds that author the storms in my mind to beyond the confines of our consciousness. From the bright clouds that author the storms in my mind to beyond the confines of our consciousness. Forget me if you wish, but remember all of my rhymes. Remember, yes. Forget me if you wish, but remember all of my rhymes. Remember.
Why is Mahakala associated with miracles and protection in Tibetan Buddhism? What do crows, 3 men in black, black dogs, black horses and black wolves have to do with Black Mahakala? How can wrathful Black Mahakala be considered none other than Chenrezig, Avalokiteshvara, the Lord of Compassion?
We got a lot more than 99 problems in this society, and I promise they have nothing at all to do with dogs or goddesses. Don't listen to those odd artists. Don't listen to the top 10, it's all patriarchal. The problem is patriarchy. We got problems on this planet. I'm not sure if you noticed at all, goddammit. And I mean this to all of you, you goddamned it. We never used to even talk of war and famine. Those words were as vanished as they are absurdities in a society so advanced that we could cure all the diseases of the globe with what we have in science. But we got a planet, we can't wait another 30 years and toss that shit to the youth for the future. It's not fair at all to all of them. Diseases and morgues filled with so-called COVID-related corpses and cases. But what happened to the pandemic? Nothing, nada. New world orders, plans destined clandestinely, but their plans festered instantly. Notice how no one talks of COVID anymore. No masks, no reports, no news. But so many new vaccines still, doesn't that seem ill? Did you get your 13th variant shot? Does that seem real? Facts mean shit in this factory farm slaughterhouse they call free range. We're all actually bonded through more than this as free slaves. But they'd ask you to be in a cage like ICE or FEMA, and I'd see a lot of you comply just to be nice and seamless. You'd be like, I'm sorry officer, closer? Can I have my free meal? We're all asking for handouts from society these days, but taxes bring death and property is like a monopoly map where the most green gets it. We toast to demons' possessions. I mean these possessions you deem to be yours in essence, like your cars and your things that are not that. Meanwhile, genocides are off the scene and map, and bombs are dropping in Palestine. You've seen that? You seem like piles of lies to me, get it? If your music or your art isn't doing anything revolutionary for Gaia, what's your point? Who's the Avengers and who's the Nazis? Who are the Zionites? Those are supposed to be rosters from solar systems far beyond us. They probably would have told you in a Bible and not so distant tomorrows that Bob Marley was white, and you'd listen and go, oh yeah, Malcolm X too, I think. And they teach that as history. No shit, guess what they did to your savior? So listen before you get to your graves. I'm a grave digger and self-made man that sways perceptions of the hells they made and planned for us. They banned me in wars for martial law, but their plans are long gone. Cause I'm the answer to all that you ponder. Cause I'm the answer to all that you ponder.
Crows, black dogs, wolves, horses, and the men in black are recurring themes in many Tibetan Buddhist legends of Mahakala. Mahakala is so well loved as a protector that he is often simply called the Great Black and the Lord.
I always see things upside down with this war in society, but I'm right side up cause I'm leftist, I'm a writer. I'm a clocker of shamanic medicines, the bright side, what? I saw it often in Pachamama, just not in you morbid zombies. Look at your laws and cops, your lawyers and psychiatrists, it's all just fucked. Still I keep one foot in the system once in a while, just not too often. I'm off grid essentially. Once upon a time we all woke up to gorgeous densities, and all that was stuck up in our minds from before this century and its lore of lies, and we stopped trying to be woke fucks. We all despise you, but so what? We are the Black Lotus Sangha. These days it's so subtle, this new age shit and its philosophers and artists. Stop acting like martyrs, you'll get slapped often. I'd say, who gave you permission to this timeless knowledge you claim to have? Did you get it all from Akasha? Or was it some whitewashed angels from Ashtar Command that gave you some kind of direct transmission from the Pleiades? Are you even faintly aware of what's in store for this land of yours that you say you have and that you stand on? It's the Hopi prophecies. We're all on stolen land, but you're woke as fuck, right? I mean, you've awoken, you should know to fuck up the right and stay right the fuck up in the fight for our lives as archangels of the rainbow tribes. We are no saviors, we're no Maitreas. No, I promise. The difference is we know the children are of the future tomorrows like the youth is. You've been looting their vital fluids with the garbage you put into your bodies and organs. You've been doing this quite so often and abusing them too by righteously supporting slave labor from China and beyond this in the timeless diaspora. All the so-called objects in your apartments are from rape and torture, like those tasty poisons and graceless toxins you knavishly buy from paid advertisements. You lie your asses off when you try to argue. I laugh my ass off and I tie your garbage, then hop outside at -40 to go dump it frozen in the cold. People are like, still, yo, that's the shit though. I mean, he kind of had some rhymes that were awesome. I'm like, nah, he's a mindless liar that talks shit. What's the difference between me and you? You're all rhyming nonsense. I'm a cosmic offspring of the shining goddess and tribes forgotten. I'm a cosmic offspring of the shining goddess and tribes forgotten. Don't try to lie and say you freestyle often. I hear the difference. I dropped 300 albums in a year and you're like, shit. Do you get it? the lost ones. Do you know what the cost is? In this industry, your soul. That's your contract. Talked with Illuminati one day. I heard one called John say we were all eternal sons based on the science of immortality by Leonard Orr. I guess I laughed pretty hard and said let's have this conversation again in 20 years. Now here we are. I told them finally you were right. I was left, but you're the right wing. I'm a leftist. Now what are you left with? Life or death, it might depend. Quite the predicament you're left in, but it's not a cone. I spite and belittle them with might that's breathless. You are not alone. You might be left thinking, me too, like the movement. That's quite the ink I speak with. Seems rude, but I promise it's like a death wish. I eat food with vital essences. That's righteous heaven sends from Gaia and Rastafarians. I'm a Cathar assassin, cleansing all the Catholic horrors of the night at the Vatican. I met a false Rasta one day. He told me he was an immortal sage and the king of yogis. Told me Kali was his bride. He also told me in a song where he talked of lingams and yonis that he wished he had more gopis on his jock. He wanted to hit them with his mantra, I guess, Om Tat Sat. Then in another song yet, with some white folks, he said he was quite dope. Said he was the true Illuminatus and the Anunnaki, the merging of Shiva and Shakti. Then he told me he was Baphomet. I told him, yo, I think you're honestly growing old and wrinkled. We'll talk about this again when you go and see Kali. See, I know that Masonic and soulless agnostics know that Baphomet is their god, but no. To me, see, he's just knee deep in his feces, shitting himself in hells, thinking he failed the frail, thinking I brailled a mail in many letters and opuses to dead all of his hopes of the beginnings of his reign. Hell on earth, I think not. We'll be ending this soon with the lost children of Babylon. Now it's Venus Project, so battle on or Babylon, depending on your battle songs. We'll see who knows what. Mea culpa if you lost all your potent sources for agua fresca. So you nahu al celesto. I heard a lot of you are deathless gods according to your own scriptures. Oddly, I am legion to you zombies. I am Damien in this industry. I slay you whether you remember me or not. I slaughter you all in the name of the fallen you've slain and martyred. You're all strange oddities to me, not a single speech. Easy, there's no black hole in your perimeter yet. Do you see me, son? My sound gardens are a lot more than dreamy puns. It's one nation. Now do you see Pac's vision and why he was slain by the Illuminatis and the Nation of Islam? I'd say first things first, it's not a thing though. Nada, I make you thirst for wordplays. Nada brings you nadie. That's just a small bit of quantum strings that are not theories like etymologies in fields that are neurological prodigies. Hackers to back up your OS. OP bloodins in your zones, yes. Cause you're so sick and so alone. I flow crickets for your careers like plagues in your false Bibles. You're all liable for hellfires. I know all my bardos and my numerologies. You don't know my star codes or codexes, stargates or portals. Allah Wabha, Allah Akbar. You better all praise the goddess. You better all praise the goddess, or it's praises for all of you.
Having a dream featuring a crow or black horse or black wolf is considered highly auspicious by many devout followers of Black Mahakala. The significance of the crow and the three men in black, especially, is illustrated in the story of the founding of a famous monastery by Nawang Drakpa in the year 1414.
At the time, he couldn't decide on the best site for the monastery. A huge crow swooped down on him, picked off his scarf, and flew away with it. The monk hastened to follow the crow. Eventually, the garment was found hanging from the branches of a juniper tree. Here it is relevant to observe that the crow is visualized in Tibetan Buddhism as an incarnation of Mahakala, whose name literally means the Great Black One.
Entrapment tactics, but we actually backspin. Sometimes I feel like we're all trapped in this system. Then I remember that we're actually limitless without pills. And I'm actually living this without illnesses inside me. I hack and spit often, hashish and ganja, cannabis in my pacho. I smoke so much you know what a cold clutch is. If you were over at my lodge or a cold spell in the midst of the most frosty blizzards, polar vortex in a snow desert in the middle of nowhere for a whole month at -60 with no electricity, no water, snow baths in the back and no fresh clothes left, but no problem. Cold coffee and a warm fire and your soul's fine. Being alone is a problem though, so they told cops to come over and fuck me over properly. Locked up in wards and prisons, but they told me you're going good now with all those chemicals and poisons inside you. You're no longer a convict. 3 whole months during COVID. They wanted 3 years, but no go, no can do. Hey, at least it was warmer inside there. No clothes, just a hospital gown while the snow frosted my closed window. No tobacco, no liquor, no Indo. Just a lot of pills and soulless injections with overboiled shit I couldn't call nutrition. You wanna watch the idiot box often or walk gently in the hallway if we let you? No thank you, I'll stay on high security section, I said, and go dream more. If I'm dead when you play this, dream on and don't dread my death unseemly. Hey, I've been bred to forget my sins and problems. That's what they did in this insidious society. Massive memory issues. Hashishin is my emblem. I'll forever be the Mohawk bastard of Assassin's Creed. Yes, the last of a dying breed, but we are immortal with these timeless speeches. We are immortal with these timeless speeches. Some of you think I'm a mental case. I think you're demented racists and ableists, knavish, queerphobic, misogynistic patriarchs ducking my opposition without a pot to piss in. But now you've got to listen. I'm a mental case, remember, yes, I'm considered by the system to be amongst the many that they think of and label to be essentially apeshit. The thing is that knaves and idiots think that using less than 10% of your brain on a regular is meant for us. You're some special cases, I think, or maybe we're the special ones. I think that brain activity is linked with spiritual and mental elevation. You're all demented and hellish patrons of this senseless case system. I make things seem like a mystery to dimwits in this industry, but case closed. Hey hombre, soy un poco loco en mi cabeza, mira empresa. Su reino es de la ley de macheteros. Your king is not a king empress. He thinks that you're a thing in essence. He eats baby chickens and lean beef. Then he gets you thinking that he may be a chicken when he means to beef with you. Ditch your sorry ass like the idiot box before you get bored in all aspects. I promise you'll all grasp it. It's not just palabras or a mask that I talk in. They're the ones all wearing dark glasses to pretend that they're not on some kind of pills or a lot of acid. They're the simians mimicking illnesses you think are fine, as long as they've got a lot of cash for you. But what's tomorrow's cash crop? Venus Project is all you should ponder, actually. That's the goddess in all aspects. The new world order is collapsing. It's so close to the end I could smell the voided horrors inside them gasping. They're all zombies and pretenders of a past tense none of us ever wanted to have to live in. They're all zombies and pretenders of a past tense none of us ever wanted to have to live in. And that's facts, yes. Remember this, Sistren, class dismissed for all of the rest of you. And I'm not a professor, but I am at the same time. I'm a postdoctoral scholar in world wisdom literature, recontextualized and revisited from an indigenous perspective. I'm a feminist and a queer theorist as well. And I'm queer, just remember, I'm so queer that I don't like you homophobes and all of the rest of you. I don't like men either. I love the divine feminine, I love goddesses, and I'd ether you like Nas did to Jay-Z back in the days if you even tried to think you were crazy enough to try to displace me from my place. And I'm not the king, I'm just a street prince, leaving discreet prints to all of you. This is war, remember? We're living a mass extinction in the greatest genocide in history. Who are you exactly? I'm an Avenger, are you a Nazi? Cause listen, I'd choke you in the wall and tell you really quickly you have about 5 seconds left to live before your breath leaves you and your spirit just withers up like Shang Tsung when I desiccate you to nothingness and you go to the ethers. Inner demons, I hear them screaming often. It seems like forever in dreams. I'm like whatever the seams of this system are riddling me to be meaner and to belittle the rest of this industry that's teeming with idiots and simians that are gleaming. Why would I miss them? I mean, why would I diss them? It's too easy. Still, I don't let them in. Close your eyes and clear your thoughts again. But when I'm all alone in my indigenous lodge, they show up on their own with insidious stories. Why would I give up on going to war with them? I'm trivializing them on a regular anyways. Exercising with machetes daily. Am I an exorcist? I'm none the wiser regardless. Inner demons fight with fire often, and they don't play by the rules and dogmas. They tell me just push them down and fight them harder. Why would I give up on this so soon? Why would I fuck with those cold students of my thoughts? So much gloom that it brought me to close my eyes and think that they don't exist, and naught could persist to subdue me. But regardless, I'm remiss in wandering in existence. I'm pondering topics that couldn't possibly exist in my thoughts. That's the Void Walkers and the New World Order. But I'm always Venus Project, like lost children of Babylon are. Truthful world, you often like winds that are proof that hurl you off into sinning. Bad girls and boys, do you get this? We're not meant to be evil or lecherous, deceiving or devious or wretched. We're meant to be of the ethers essentially. Breathe in deep and get this. Sleep and dream till you're blessed. See the seams of the systemic inequities that deem us to be like fiends for equity. But fair trade is far from equitable, really. Remember, equality, brethren, sister, and everyone. Be who you are and be the quantum shift that you wish for in this wanton depiction of all that we live in. We're stronger than this, taller than all forests within us. We're all gorgeous in essence, we're not morbid citizens. These cities and metropolises have us caught up in the system like pawns to religions and politics. But get this, we're beyond it really. We're a lot more than they think of us. They're advertising piles of lies and sad demises for us. We laugh and lie our asses off to cope with sorrows. They say it's fine with cops, and it is. But honestly, imagine what honesty brings us tomorrow. We're prodigies, kindred. Don't borrow your time from the wrong perception. I time warp and move forward to infinity. I honestly wish we could stop this dubious and awkward shit that we're too often caught in. Shit, I mean, I'm drinking like a fish and sparking ganja so much I'm sinking in an abyss with cold Dutches, and my infinity's amiss. What could I think of as the sword of my deliverance? If I die, just remember this as my final form of repentance. I'd die forlorn if I didn't wish this to be a war-torn story of ancestors and descendants inside me that meant me to be a lot more than their sentences and honest. Don't listen to all the horrible shit I spit if it's not for you. I can show you a lot more than your eyes can grasp. Just ask someone you thought was a blind swordsman, you ableist fucks. I can show you love or death depending. I can show you thugs respect if you think you should get it really. If you deserve it, I could show you what murder is or unconditional praise and credit. I could braise your decrepit flesh in hells till I make you into a tasty meal for a rabid Cerberus with triple heads. I can show you the forges of Hephaestus and the Titans. I could show you why Robin left Batman long ago, cause he was an American psycho with no equilibrium. I can show you box cutters if you show me your Wu-Tang symbols on your shirts or bodies. I can show you a lot more than you thought it. I can show you who the true karma is as Mataya. I could show you Isfet and Mat and the Nefertum assembly in the nether realms, but that could get really chaotic. I can show you S.O.S kindred in the West Nile, yes. I can show you how I flip what you would call the deadliest weapons in existence with the black plague and traces on the blades while I sink a fifth of local spirits. Walk outside barefoot and chest with just a turban on and minus 60 frost just to take out my garbage. I can show you why you could never take out a Tzigane. We don't die, we multiply in logarithmics across the cosmos. I can show you how many Surashana chakras I have in my final form. Pure light be dead. practice of darkness, but you might just freeze or hearken depending. I can show you what Amora is in a sense that would show you that your pretenses are the most ridiculous ever. When you call a gorgeous divinity crazy or baby,
I can show you, yeah. 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 I can show you, yeah.
you're of the Black Sangha, like those you thought were just porn stars, but those are Suicide Squad goddesses and ninjas like Harley Quinn. I can show you the gaping holes you thought were your radiant souls and your Manipura chakras. Now be like Mihirangi from Mabo, take that soul and make it whole honestly, before you grow into demonic forms of non-consciousness that go to the primordial void, courtesy of Akasha with your false god the Father. I could show you how you're all Wendigo's offspring indigenously, when you go to churches or synagogues or mosques and worship him insidiously.
I can show you, yeah. 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 I can show you, yeah.
Twists and turns, this shit burns within your innards, most potent. I'd ghost you whole like ghost peppers, Baba, Naga Halokyas and scorpions. You know this, come visit my lodge. I promise I'll keep it all indigenous, properly speaking, kindred. I'll take good care of you. This is a 5-star Airbnb. Some Buddhist dude that was a client one day told me maybe goddesses get raped for a reason. I told him, you see that oversized carbon fiber El Salvador machete with a saw on it sitting next to you on the wall in the kitchen? What if I was a serial killer in the middle of nowhere that just thinks that slaughtering you and hiding the body in the forest in the back of the lodge is no problem? What would you say to that, karma? He said, no, please don't murder me. I changed my mind. I won't believe what you heard of me anymore. I told him, relax, I'm an Airbnb host. You want tea or a meal with some Naga Halokya? He said, no, I'm fine. I told him I'm just joking, but I hope you got the divine feminine forms of consciousness should never be meant for that kind of shit. That's soulless. You're not a Buddhist or Taoist. You should know this. He said, sure. Then he went to an early rest in his room. The next day I was stressed and gloomy, I admit this. I thought maybe he'll report me and tell shit like I threatened to slaughter him, but nah, I got a 5-star review also. Can you imagine what I've gone through? Crickets. All of you. We love and evolve. We're not thugs, but we got this. I love and evolve cause I'm with all you goddesses and oracles. I'm not in a club, but I'm brawling with idiots and nauseous simians that are horrid, eating flesh and bartering with kindred with meted messages. Do you heed this lesson? I mean this, brethren. I hope you get this. I hope you choke to death on that chicken piece that's a limitless phoenix skin. That's a baby, 3 to 8 weeks. Do you seize this or get it? I hope you do. I do spoken voodoo to choke you dudes. This is Black Sangha magic. Forget the son of Saturn. His father was eating babies. His offspring was heating Hades. He's coughing up and seething with pasties. He can't keep up. He's got Neha Maya as a goddess, but he wouldn't get that he disrespected her awfully when he said to me, I'd rather go on tour and get my dick sucked often while I stab motherfuckers. I told him, nah, go marry a supreme bodhisattva instead, and he did. 3 weeks later, I applauded them and he bade me to delete the label I was heading. He said, you should be board of directors for Black Sangha. Just give me 60K as credit. You're a professor. I said, I'm a gypsy pagan. My credit with the system is tipsy at best. He said, no worries. I said, no problem. I'll be on your board and we'll problem solve quickly. So I did. Now get this. He talked to all of his fam on social media about how I was a soulless and greedy fuck that lusted for his wifey and was delusional at best. He said fuck this Lululemon label of false yogis on Revolt Motion. He just added a bunch of and called them all goddesses. I told him, yo, this is the dopest label on the face of the planet, watch it. He called me a pussy and a faggot, a bitch and a white boy, can you imagine? I said, look into a mirror, you drag queen, you're a has-been. Be grateful you have Neha, otherwise I'd drag your spleen across the continents just to prove who really got this industry on lock. You got this, kid? You got this? I dug your grave one day, but it was a frosty winter, simply because you're a fucking knave and I didn't want to harm any insects. It's pretty simple, Sanghas are led by Afro-Asiatic peoples, not by Neanderthal Caucasoids that banter to all who want to hear that they're gonna have Kambata and Immortal Technique on the label soon. I bade you to reconsider your idiocies, but when Atma clocked you in the face for the fucking 4th time and called you a faggot, you should have dropped him from your record roster at the very least. But what you should have done is put a Glock tip in his fucking mouth and popped it. Your crew is so full of dubious imposters that all of you look like you've been on some homoerotic shit, honestly. Master builders and Illuminatis, what's the deal with that Benjamin? Why don't you make some real songs about your life as a white boy and call it by your birth name, Maitreya, world savior, right? I see how many people's lives you saved. I still remember when I managed you as an artist and all those kindred spirits you called fans asked for the merch and music and you never sent them. I still remember Amun Morbsky talking shit to your face about you being an internet sensation and a Pop-Tart. Those are your best friends, and considering your Saturn son, it makes sense that you eat children's flesh for pleasure sometimes. I get that you still think it's trendy to bash indigenous traditions and Rastafarian doctrines of nutrition. Your numb mind doesn't seem to get that you're confined in the seamless stretches of your livid imagination when you spit and say shit like you're dancing naked and crying like a child on acid covered in blood. Very discordant music and topics, Ben. You can't really afford to do this karmically. You're a fraud and a pretender. I'm sorry for your burial. I'm sorry for your burial. Welcome to the Black Lotus Sangha. I'm board of directors. You put me on there. I remember it all, total recall of my divine memories form. I am a Kalki King from the mountains. I bring death to you imposters. I am proud to be two-spirit. I'm proud to be a brujo mestiza and Tzigane. We've been reborn many times, but this is the final inning. I'm not lying, not winning is not an option in my languages or perceptions. My only competition is myself, and I'm not kidding. You're not meant to be figures of authority in anything, really, especially not spiritually. My rhyme collection is a lot more than your entire record roster of Black Sangha. I wreck you proper in a second. On second thoughts, you reckon not. So I keep decking and clocking you like medicines that are pressed into pills that you're popping. You did another song about addictions. That's really properly original. I get it, you wish to be the biggest and the best in this industry of idiots. Pretty easy shit, really. Who would blame you for your silly raps, you silly rabbit? Do you know what Wolverines do to you like Eminem? To me, you look just a little bit more intellectual, depending. You got garbage lyrics with Master Masons and Illuminati theorists. You dropped out of mystery school pretty young or pretty old, depending. I get it wasn't interesting enough. You're such a prodigy, it's ridiculous. Probably why you said you walked with Muhammad on the road to Mecca and called yourself a god Akashic ancestors with a Sikh Sangha emblem upon it, and a sick and morbid, deathly looking horrid father figure. Amun Morbsky, I think you called him. Then you dropped some gems like fuck you and Heliopolis. Do you know what the Greeks were doing back then in the days? Probably eating children on pizza like your videos. You might as well be drinking lean in your cup at this point. Your dystopias are so discordant that Kambata slaughtered you on your own album, and you voided yourself in the process. Do you remember what you looked like as a bodhisattva in hells with a giant grin on your face? Are you a repentant robot singing that everything is fine, but it all ends with the hangman card? I think you got it upside down or downside up. Regardless, your career is still hanging by the same thread. Who's the puppet now? I've got limitless ammo and infinite tracks, graffiti scripted the damage. You needy idiots wishing you could defeat me effortless, but how would you see me? Really, it's not possible. Like Tupac Amaru, you could spend 666 lifetimes trying to best to beat me. I'd beast you properly like the revenge of those so-called beasts you eat and scarf up. I scar up beats and makers that seem fake. The real ones know what this means. Hey hombre, t'es une ombre dans la pénombre de mes ondes et de son. Tu vas payer sans compter, tu peux même pas essayer de me dompter. J'suis comme un quick qui a un lion mélangé. Des sionistes Benjamin, j'suis du coin du vrai Zion, j'reste ital. I am from Orion, my texts are vital to your progress. You'll die quick if you don't want to listen. Rise up and fall, then rot up in decomposition. You're a false macho, calling people faggots and pussies, assholes and you wouldn't grasp this if you pushed me. You'd be in chasms abyssal like Mariana's trenches. I'm Sunya, remember, you said you have half a mind left. Have half a mind yet to get rid of that half of yours, get it? Ask an ascended master what it is, she'd laugh at your text. Do you grasp what VS is in a tract? You might have had too many pills to grasp what your synthetic ignorance is. It's not bliss, she's not without mine APOC and those nitwits. Lord Gamma is a sodomitic horror like your Illuminatus Rasta, talking of who he is when he's horny as Baphomet. Read the signs in the songs and you'll all get it. Master Builders did a track called Fuck Y'all. It was queerphobic as fuck and misogynistic. Then Akashic ancestors did fuck you. Same kind of shit. Where's the ancestral wisdom? It's whitewashed. No wonder life scientist and yet a diapen sign won't answer your calls, Ben. It's all ending. You're not wisdom. You're just lost and bested like that track you did where you thought you were useless and said fuck it all. This is so stupid. At least you are being honest. You have no clue left what you even started with me and the rest of the Black Sangha. Just slit your wrists a rope and noose yourself, go do it. Your career is so over, you world savior. You've got no new shit, Maitreya. All your old feats are from revolt motion back in the days. There's no omen I could flow you to warn you other than to say I fucking told you. You're gone, ghosted. Samsara's gonna roast you. And it's not gonna be Yahweh in your ectoplasm served on plates, I promise. He's not a yogi in the Himalayas. All of your shit makes no kind of sense. It's so delusional, you're so confused, Benjamin. I don't know what to tell you, just be honored that you're Jewish, you're the chosen one. And there's no kind of anti-Semitic reference in there. You should be honored, you thought you were the world's savior, that's the problem. False rappers are all actors, you all get clapped quickly like Wu-Tang Clan trying to battle against Legion as a phoenix or Jean Grey. Assault and battery, you seem pale, you seem faded from weed vapors. Your Islamic void of a god wouldn't even save you if he could. You worship a child rapist, that's Muhammad. Did you know Sharia law in Islam tells men of any age that they can marry kids and rape women as war prisoners? Morbid visions inside me, I'll see you all in hells, and it's not a problem. Demons respect me down there, many are grounded and fearful, cause their wives tell them often, don't do it, don't MCs alive, and one of the greatest warriors also. I live in the mountains. If I was from Kosovo or the Balkans, you'd be like, oh shit, he's a war orphan and a genocide survivor. I grew up with lost tribes of Babylon and Rastas. Got drunk for the first time when I was still breastfeeding. I kill and best demons, especially when they seem like men that are machos. Take 10 and drop dead. I didn't mean dollars, I meant left hooks to your right temple. I pummel all of you so often you just might get it. Right, left, you die wicked. I write scripture cited in the book of life and wisdom. I'm a walking encyclopedia of knowledge and prajna. I might lack discipline because I went to a college of Jesuit priests when I was 10 and a residential school before this in elementary. I'm elemental antimony in the flesh, 51 in the periodic table of elements. I write gems but I'm a transitional metal. You just might get this. That's why this shit is quite heavy. Right, left. You got back up and tried to quit. I like death. It smells like freedom to me, like Tyson biting an ear off. Why discredit him for it? I like rawness. My light's gorgeous when I strike you. You're quite horrid. I wanna swell up your faces when I punch you. I'm quite morbid when I talk. So imagine me in a ring that's electrified. I'd fight RZA, then he might sing to the cops and try to charge me. Meanwhile, you fucks are all sucking up to him often for tracks and profit. That's whack shit, garbage. They haven't produced an actual hit since the 90s. All of them. You're all third eye blinded by this industry shining like moths to a lightning strike. But I like the Mothman prophecies. I write through the night often just to stop your diseases and watch for your offspring, cause you're all demonic people. Stomp you like a mosh pit of punks or onyx. Seize this. You catch STDs on a regular and talk shit to Jesus as Islamic void walkers. I cure those diseases with my saliva often. That's a small miracle, but it's simple nutrition. That's ITAL principles. Stay ITAL, it's vital, remember this. I'm from a rare breed, I promise this. Don't dare me, I'd stomp you with onyx gems carved into monster-sized machetes that are flaming swords in lower bardos. Your aim is wrong if you try to maim me or claim my songs aren't prodigy-level masterpieces compared to yours especially. I'm just in horrorcore mode presently, so I hope you got this properly. This is Mortal Kombat and I'm an intersectional artivist that's also a multiple felon and a psychiatric convict. I'll have a lot of fun in hells, I saw you there often. Whoever you are that talk shit, you'll see me in divine form shining like obsidian in darkness. I am not the kind of mind you can mine from, mind you. I've got a lot of obnoxious idiots who thought they could belittle me or end my career, but there's really none left. They're all wrinkled and dumbfounded. I am the black hole sun, I reverse aging, that's actual sun. I'd curse pagans, but they're not the problem at all. I'm worse in person, I had to say this. If you saw me, you'd be cursing like, this is my worst day, what's going on? I could barely survive the first taste of that scorpion pepper fermented paste. And I'd be asking you all kinds of questions in the process, and offering you some cursed spirits to process with chemicals and poisons inside them. Because you insisted you were the birth leader of the Sangha. I heard nada. This'll be like the episodes of Hot Ones they never tell of. You got this. I'm on top 10 watch list worldwide for what I talk of. Your girl isn't your girl at all. She's a goddess, a supreme bodhisattva, as dreamy and incomparable as you're horrid and weak. You use words I can't even think of speaking, even if they were for you. I see you. I should call you Netanyahu, honestly. You're an extremely delusional right-wing leftist fool that thinks that you are who you are, but no. You might sing the blues one of these existences when you see what these kids did to you for the slave labor of the flesh that you savored. You called yourselves all kinds of things like world savior. I think you thought your last name was Maitreya. I'm quite jaded and past fame. I'm actually past famous thanks to you, but who cares? I remember you back in the days. I know all you illusionists and spiritual truthers with your dubious writs you spew as wisdom. Honestly, if I knew you'd listen, I'd tell you you're already post-mortem. This is your eulogy, Benjamin. You could have said that you were Jewish, but instead you said that you were 1/16th native. I believed you. It's so sick these days. Cultural appropriation is rampant. I wouldn't call you racist rapist, I'd slaughter you. I think you caught the vapors and thought you could walk up to the sun like Lauryn Hill. This is your final farewell, courtesy of the Black Lotus Sangha. This is for all of you. Farewell to the dearly departed. I'd be nearly heartless with you, depending on who you clearly are. Truly, do you have a dreary clue what you've started, Benjamin? I wouldn't even mention Atma if I didn't think it was relevant to all this garbage you spit and think. Oh, I meant Thomas Stewart. He just got his senior's card, I think, yes. You build with ascended masters, yeah. The only one I ever thought of in this sense is Yeshua Ben Miriam in Bliss. I kicked you all off the label so many times, this shit is pitiful. You all tried to warn me, telling me you'd end my career. The shit is ridiculous, honestly. It's not even worth this song, so I gave you this opus instead, Black Lotus Sangha. This is your final goodbye for the cosmos. You never loved Nehemiah. I wrote her so many gorgeous poems. Yours were horrid, you ought to know this. Your flow's morbid. You eat pizza and shit diseased feces. You rotten scumbag Nirvana. You're so dystopian that no one would survive your omens, like Thomas the Tathagata with Krishna's stolen quotes in Vimana's project. Where's your Anahata pen? I know you're all old decrepit fucks, but God bless you. Go with them, with Yahweh and Allah and Muhammad on the road to Mecca. Go with your void walkers, misogynistic, queerphobic, fucking macho men and alpha rapists. You'll all enjoy the ride, but this one's over. Take my fucking tracks off your label before you go to court soon. Tell everyone how much you paid for all your feats and how many so-called fans you scammed. I think I could call you a stan, to be honest. You wish you had my flow and persona. You wish you could have flowed Prajna for your soul goddess like I did on Island of Immortals, but it's no contest. You're dying in your sorrows. I'm Antimonios Benjamin, but you'll die alone, get it? You marred your own exits. You're too tired and cloned to exist. Why bother go and persist against me? You know all too well no known predator exists for Kikwaku. You flow nonsense, so I hope you grasp that no distorted sample of yours from old imposters could possibly save you like Neha from all of this. Your grave is before you. Be grateful it's in songs and not in the flesh for the moment. A gong hits in a Tibetan temple. I flow this for your atonement from all of this. I'm elemental antimony, and this is essential for your progress, Maitreya. Call it an omen of the non-binary oracles and the goddess. I warned you. Now slay yourself. You talked about killing the son of Saturn long ago. You should have done it. That was altar of the dead sun, yes. I'm on there. Do you remember tattered robes? Go listen to the verse again, and now you know. That's a VS, a brief says so much you cease to exist.
monstrous when I write, it's not like into fiction. I'm a conqueror when I strike, I split atoms with massive friction. Classic Ritz, madness hits you as you gasp and listen. I'll laugh and diss you, cast and drift you into a blasted glass prison. Class dismissed, just bask in ascended master's bliss. Tattered split robes, the blackest scripted odes, encrypted codes listed woefully, brisk and soulful, mystic and noble, blistering cold and sweltering hot. Vice versa when I write verses, reverse spite and curses, brighten with mirth, light in your girth. Righteous accursed, I write this in cursive, strike like lightning in person, blight your discursive tactics, Persian black magic, words are mathematics, rap addict, but I make you laugh madly like Black Adams. Bask in passion, ask for a clash of beef. We make you gasp and weep and gnash your teeth. You lash at the beast, we're fasting for peace. You mask your deceit, we speak in craft pieces of brass. Leap from the past to splice futures quantum. You're putridly coughing, we're likened to supers awesome. You're glued to your coffin, subdued by the lost ones. We drop puns, then plot sons. You view this at Mach 1, we'll warp speed, crossbreeds. Feed off the moss of trees, rocks and leaves. I'm a Coptic priest, watch me feast on these rhymes. Speak to your mind directly, shine like conceptions immaculate. Bask in this essence, master the message, or be rabid with pestilence. Maddened by testaments, maddened by testaments that bruise and batter your regiments. That bruise and batter your regiments.
Yeah, you're bruised and battered regiments were groomed for savage etiquette. They lose the path when choosing wrath. We're moving past the deficit of truth and math. My estimates include the tattered vestimental robes of existential souls, dead from detrimental woes and woke from screaming ashes. The karma hasn't left you, child, still wild and dreaming madness. With piles to feed the famished. The skandhas are the aggregates that hem you up with dancing poltergeists inside the laminate of dimensions perpendicular. Apply the law of averages. The synthesis is splendid, sir. To sit and spin the little blurs fervent in the ethers. Tornado of this cosmic muck undone from Vishnu's finger. Sudarshana chakra sharpened, slicing through your speaker. 108 serrated edges is deadly. Dead you, behead you, it's heavy. Fled from the Jesuits, buried like Dead Sea Testaments carried to estuaries. 777, step on the ferry, pay your tokens. Naughty spun like helixes, transmigrate through solstices. We're noticing an opening between doldrums of omens beamed across the color spectrum. Each sound beholds a frequency, unleashing inner pressure. Each round you hold the beads and breathe, re-singing mystic ledgers. Each scowl emboldens grievances that keep you missing treasures. We pound our bones on cement, bleeding wisdom from these measures. However, the depths treacherous, blessed we're pressing on. Like resurrecting dawn, God's unstoppable. Stolen robes tattered, dragging through the obstacles. And Saturn was a father fueled by jealousy and fear. A dead sun is shining, eating galaxies and pirouetting from Syrian, settling cellophane seashells. Sell you a siren song, a song that's doctored up. Brainwashing, softening lullaby. Fuck you and your arrogance preach. Keep your emulation, God, you'll never be me. Plume feathered, I'm effervescent, reaching past the peasants and peons of weakness, seeping through the eons. My flux capacitor, struck by ugly daggers of heavenly energy. My form propelled forward through time, trekking infinity. Empty, getting me. So Shinobi. Yeah. What up, Kalki? Revolt Motion. Tzigane Curse.